Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal with the New York Giants. He will be their presumed starter of this season. We already know they signed Jameis at the end of last week. He's going to probably be their backup. To me, first I thought this is immediately takes them out of Shedeur Sanders. But then I started hearing more from these outlets and Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, friend of the program, Tom Pelissero, saying that they won't hesitate to get a quarterback if they feel Shedeur Sanders is their guy at pick number 3. And also considering that Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston's contracts are only 1 year, and you could just cut Tommy DeVito, and that would be your 3-man if you want to roll into the season with a 3-man QB depth chart. I think this is, compared to what the Giants have had at quarterback since Eli Manning left the building, I think you can do a lot worse than Russell Wilson. Me and Courtney were just giving Russ some love last week doing our Aaron Rodgers hate session. He's not great, but he can be competitive. And I think that if you do go out there and you think Shedeur is the one, and I'm starting to agree with people that Shedeur's stock might be dropping just because of what Dion said. And by the way, shout out to Coach Prime, 5-year, $54 million extension with the Colorado Buffaloes. First, he went from saying, oh, we hope he lands in New York. Then he went to saying, oh, we're cool with any of the teams he goes to. That, to me, is speak for that nigga stock is dropping. I'm a Shedeur guy. I hope he goes in the top 3. Pretty much sounds like Cam Ward is a shoe-in to go number 1. But Russell Wilson, I think, is a solid fill-in for the New York Giants. And this pretty much tells Aaron Rodgers, hey, nigga, in Steelers or retirement. Courtney, what do you think about this signing? And what does this mean, in your opinion, about where the Giants go with the number 3 draft pick?
Yeah, well, so for me, I mean, I think it's a great signing. Again, when you're talking about Russell Wilson, you're dealing with a guy that doesn't have any drama that you have to deal with, and that was something that you were always going to have to deal with Aaron Rodgers. And also, that is to say, I don't think Aaron Rodgers was ever actually going to go to the Giants. As far as I know, he never actually visited with the Giants, and apparently that's a very important part of his process or whatever. You know, the dude's a weirdo. But yeah, I don't think that was ever actually going to happen. Again, I still maintain that the only place that he'd ever really wanted to go was the Steelers. And all he's done is leverage the information that he's put out there to try to improve his chances of ending up in Pittsburgh. Again, I'll maintain the same stance. I hope dude gets Bill Belichick out of the NFL and doesn't have a job this season. That would just bring me unspeakable joy. But I'm happy for Russ. I think it's a great situation for him. And honestly, I think it's a great situation for the Giants. Great for Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, who are both trying to save their jobs because they need to win right now. And I think that having that veteran quarterback room, regardless of how you feel about Russell Wilson or Jameis, gives them the best opportunity to win games over whatever rookie quarterback that they would potentially draft. That is to say, with that number 3 draft pick, I really don't know what they would do. I literally have a card trying to write down all the possibilities of what I think that they might do. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. I don't know if they need to take a quarterback. Is that crazy? Is that stupid of me? I don't know if they need to take a quarterback right now.
I wouldn't say it's stupid, but I definitely think it's risky.
For sure.
Depending on what you think about these quarterbacks.
Correct. Yeah. Think about the crop of quarterbacks that are coming available in maybe next year's draft. Again, if you just need a bridge to get you to next season, maybe show Mara that there's been some improvement. Because again, these moves of signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are literally just saving your ass moves by Brian Daboll and Joe Shane. Are we all in agreement on that?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
For me, the team that's getting hoed the most by the Giants signing both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are the Raiders. Because, I mean, if you're the Raiders, what the fuck do you do now? I'm assuming you're already kind of moving at the point where you know that you did that with signing Geno Smith because you knew that Ward and Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to be off the board, right? So what do you do now if you're the Raiders? Because
I think the Raiders are in a good spot because now, even though it hasn't been announced yet. It hasn't been announced yet, and Dante pointed it out, which I didn't pay attention to, that the extension that was announced hasn't been named official by the Raiders yet. But I think Geno is a solid quarterback. He ain't great. He's mid, but I think when we forget about mid isn't necessarily a bad thing. We just look at it as a bad thing. He's a solid quarterback and way better than what they had. If you're pick 6, I'm going Ashton Genty if I'm the Raiders. And it's been a lot of smoke around that. So I don't really think this affects them that much. But I will say this. If Shedeur is around at pick 6, that doesn't stop them from drafting him.
Yeah. And that's my thing.
I wonder if he will be available though, right? Because if you think that Cam Ward is going to go 1 to Tennessee, what Shedeur is probably go. I don't
know what Cleveland's doing. Cleveland is the wild card.
Cleveland. I'm struggling with Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, but no, because Cleveland has, they got. I think Cleveland is kicking the tires on the whole Kirk Cousins thing. But if you're Kirk Cousins, do you want to get traded and they still draft a quarterback and pull the rug from you again? So I think he's cautious with that too, because he has a few options. I think he's a also, guy that he's
Dante, respectfully, Kirk Cousins should be fucking grateful. He should be grateful for whatever he gets at this
first
point.
of all, Kirk Cousins has fleeced this league for so much money. Kirk's going to play anywhere.
Exactly.
He'll go somewhere and collect $29 million next year, something stupid. But no, so I think with that, they've set themselves up to where if you do go Abdul Carter, you've heard the recent rumors about trading for Dak Prescott. Basically, it's people were insinuating that, Myles Garrett didn't take that money because there isn't a plan in place in Cleveland. Like, it wasn't just something about pure greed. He really does want to win, and they have something in the works. So there's still a couple ways they can go with that. But I think if you're the Giants, you also have several ways you can go, because if you do get Shedeur and bring him in there, you have a quarterback room that, Jameis, say what you want about Jameis, but the leadership aspect of Jameis has been, he's checked that box everywhere he's gone.
on the J-Mo fan club.
I really am. He's checked that box everywhere he's gone. And then you have a guy like Russell Wilson, who's a proven winner, who can also coach him up. And so, two very religious guys, we know who Shedeur's daddy is. So, I mean, it gets to a point where he would trust that quarterback room. So I think that does play into it. So it's a very interesting thing. But as far as Russell Wilson, I think that's a perfect landing spot for him. You have a great wide receiver over there. Dayball is a great offensive mind. That team has struggled, so they're looking for some stability, even if they do continue to add to that quarterback room. So it's a great move for us. I think it's a situation where we know how that division is. Philly is clearly, head and shoulders above everybody, but
I don't know if Philly's head and shoulders anymore. They lost a lot of niggas.
That's usually how it goes when you win a ring. People get their ring, they go get paid, go get a bag. So we'll see. But I think, if you're the Giants, I like that move. I like bringing Russ in to stabilize things.
Definitely, man. We'll see how that plays out, man. Shout out to Russ. And I know Sierra's got to love that. Moving from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to New York City. Catch I'm Not Gonna Hold You, hosted by Scott Lewis, every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on HNB Media and the Barber's Chair Network.